Krishna.
How did you even know that that's what they were saying?
Because I like the music.
You listened to the musical?
Yeah, like I've been a fan of the music before seeing the show.
Okay.
But I knew that song, and I knew Aquarius, duh, and I knew Let the Sun Shine In, and I knew I Got Life, Mother, the one, you know what I'm talking about?
No, dude.
He's like, I got my head, I got my house, I got my hands on my toes, I got my... Yeah, I knew those songs. Everything else I was like, I don't think I know the song before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everyone, welcome to a very, very special edition of Revolving Whore.
I mean, oops, doors.
Revolving Doors. We are joined today by a very, very special guest, actress, mattress,
sofa model, Lana Del Rey stan.
What else? What are you?
Comrade.
Introduce yourself. Say hi.
Speak up for the kids.
When you said comrade, I thought you said
something.
Comrade. Oh, is
Oh,
it censored?
No.
Oh, so yeah, I thought you said comrade.
I mean,
well,
and
Is
well,
it
would it be
far off?
wrong? Well,
we are joined today by our good friend Isai.
acai
Loon.
berry smoothie.
Isai Loon.
Isai Loon.
The moon.
Welcome
well,
to the
you see the
pod.
moon when I turn around.
Oh, jeez, Lord.
Welcome to the pod for this very
Hello.
special episode because it is our very first review of a show.
Hot
Thank
damn.
you.
We went, so you
excited
don't
to be
have
here.
to.
I mean,
Ooh. I mean, listen, honey. How much longer does this run?
look, I've been telling people if you watch it for free.
Wait,
So-
what is the run? How long does it run?
Hair at the Old Globe.
I think it runs until October.
Man, give me that program.
Sorry.
It's on the front page. August to September. Oh,
No, it got extended.
Wait, open the front of the pic, maybe. Gotta get that
I
ASMR.
love ASMR unboxing.
Get that ASMR page
I
turn.
keep going back to like, you know how they start the program in the middle? It's so dumb. Okay, August 10th through September 26th.
Like,
So
I
you've
think
got,
it got extended. So I think it's October
It got
3rd.
extended
so you've
for
got a
sure.
month, peeps, to see it. Okay.
Especially if you live in San Diego, you know where the Old Globe
And
is.
just a shout out to all of y'all who are under 30. They do have $24 tickets on select nights. You can go. Theater should be accessible to all. So
Thanks for caring about us young folk.
yeah, thank you. That's what I did. These two, they got to see it
Look.
for free.
Look, broke people should never laugh.
Thank you.
And we needed to watch it for free, and we
Honey.
needed a good laugh.
As well, rehearsal was starting, and I said, I don't got the time, so if I go now, I better go.
Okay, so I really want to know about your experience because from what we've already talked about, it differed from what I experienced.
Wait, did we introduce ourselves?
Oh my gosh.
Well, we introduced him.
Yeah, we introduced you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for loving me. Thank you for being there. Everyone's thinking.
The whole world's thanking you.
Thanking us for thanking you. Kill the turkey.
Oh, there's one. So, two. You go ahead.
Me?
Mm-hmm. Or am I first usually?
You are usually.
Okay. Well, today, that's three. Today, I'm your bus driver who really is just thinking about hitting that cig and pipe on the brake, Kian.
And I am bring a raincoat because it's going to get really wet, Jill Jones.
Beautiful.
And I'm a super spicy Latina, like 5 chilies on that menu, Isai.
Oh my god. You got the 3 chilies next to your name. Oh my god.
I said 5.
Oh shit. my
I
bad.
said 5.
5. Yeah, so we're here to talk about hair. We saw it at the Old Globe. It's running right now. And, yeah, we did have 2 different, very, very different experiences.
Well, we got dressed up.
We did. Listen.
You didn't see my outfit.
No, but okay, let's talk about what we all wore.
Yeah,
Now,
let's talk about it.
I decided the night before we were hanging out, and I went on Target.com, and I had Isai help me pick out her dress, which I then woke up the next morning and booked my ass to Target to get.
Which one do you go to?
The alcohol one. I know. Literally thievery, muggery, and stank. Just stank.
Well, we were all those things that night because it was fucking hot. We were stank. We were sweating. We were mugging.
So was the night? Oh. Here we go again. Come on, boys, go get him.
Get
it was
him.
like a checker. No, it was
My
like
rat's here.
Oh my god, was it plaid? What was it? It's like
It was a gingham. It was
yeah.
It was very Dorothy.
Love it. Big puffy shoulders. Had a
Like,
nice little.
If Dorothy grew up and she was a whore, that was Kian that night.
Had some good boots on, and that's what I wore. And we both had. Well, we'll get to that part.
I was dressed like a real gay artist, wearing all black and a turtleneck.
A real gay artist.
And you had on Converse?
Okay. Yeah, because I was like, I don't want to wear nice shoes.
True.
Give me my Converse.
True. And so what did you wear?
So I wore some cute black pants, super tight black pants. My brand new, sparkly brand new white Vans. This shirt, actually, I know I'm disgusting.
2 days in a row.
I only wore it for like 2 hours, though. I just wore it to
we
the
wouldn't
show.
have known if you
didn't say anything.
I'm not a liar.
You revealed yourself.
Well,
and then
not saying anything is not being a liar. You just didn't say anything.
that's omitting the truth. I think that's a lie.
Okay.
Like, if I was... Never mind. The corduroy yellow jacket as well.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you wore what you wore today?
Because we dressed up.
Do you see these? These are Lululemon leggings.
Oh, she said, I have money, darling. I'm expensive.
I did not wear these to the theater.
To the theater.
I wore really nice pants.
Yes.
That were like $10 at Charlotte Russe.
Is she's
still around?
No.
My God. Well, we did it. We all wore masks.
Well, and it was different because we saw it during the previews.
The previews.
You were required to wear a mask.
Yeah.
We saw it like the 4th preview.
I believe we said it in the last episode, the date that the Old Globe was going to start requiring masks for indoor. And so we had to show proof of vaccination when we walked up.
Not us, girl.
Not us?
Honey,
Okay.
we showed up with our Lana Del Rey masks.
Okay. Wait, what does that mean?
Okay, you know when she went to Barnes & Noble that one time?
Yeah.
It wasn't even Barnes & Noble's. It was all during COVID.
Yeah, and she would like meet fans with like this glittery mesh mask on.
And she kept saying, there's a plastic underneath. It's like, no, there's
Girl,
not.
it
People
was-
were Googling that mask.
Dude, truly, she could have been spreading
But
it to the world.
she paid $100 for that mask.
And Isai did not.
I got them off of Amazon, and they were bedazzled, and I was like, let's wear them. They don't have a mask policy. Let's just shine with these masks.
That's
And
so cute.
we got a lot of compliments on
We
it.
got a lot
I
of
bet.
compliments.
Were they matching?
They're the same design. They were just different colors.
His was black and mine was blue.
Cute. That's so cute.
I wore all black.
Yeah.
So when we rolled up, I went with my good friend Alexa. She's so sweet. And I forgot to tell her. I was like, make sure you bring your COVID card. And she's like, I have a picture of it. Is that okay? And I was like, yeah, that'll be fine.
Remember when I tried to forge mine to get into a club last weekend?
And they didn't even ask for it.
Nope.
Which is funny because they were like, all the bars in Hiller has proof of vaccination.
To be fair, though, you actually are vaccinated and have one.
True,
You
true.
just didn't have a picture of it
True.
or it with you.
Facts.
Don't forge your card. So when we rolled up, we walked up. Sorry, there were ushers standing at belly bars, like 2 on each side of the walkway. So there was 2 ushers per table. So there were 8 ushers just there to do the check-ins. And when you walk up, you have to show them your proof, and then they give you this little ticket, and it says proof of COVID vaccination / negative test.
And we'll take a picture for the gram?
It's got a little, yeah, we can take a picture of it, and it says show this with your ticket for entry into the theater. So
That is
So
wild.
were they allowing people who weren't vaccinated inside?
yes, but you had
Okay.
to show a negative COVID test within 72
And
hours.
did they get the same card, or was it a different one?
Same exact card.
Wow. But
But that says proof of vaccination.
And
They ain't
darling,
vaccinated.
exactly.
I know.
Your negative test.
And then you have to go to the box office and get your tickets. So I have 2 tickets, basically, that I needed in order to get in.
Interesting.
I wonder how,
That would have
if there was any like negative response towards that.
Yeah.
Because when we went, it was just like normal.
normal. We walked up, honey, people just sitting out the tables, no masks
No
in sight,
masks.
chitting and chatting.
Drinking
Yeah.
their wine,
Drinking their coffee,
$20
drinking
wine.
that impeccable hot cocoa from the Globe.
Did you get any concessions?
Here's my thing. I
He didn't
debated
want
it,
to.
but I didn't want to.
They didn't want to.
I had not 1, but 2 coffee with Baileys. I love their coffee.
And I had air.
Yeah.
You
I had,
drank some air.
I had a nice drip of sweat on the beat of the forehead.
Did you
honey.
make it?
Oh, honey, I looked it all up. No, but we also, see, the thing is that you paid for a ticket.
I did.
We had walk-ins, which means that, for those folks who don't know, basically means we showed up, because what, let me just go into the full thing.
Yeah.
So, they sent, because we were in a theater, so they sent us the email that was like, oh, hey, you can have free tickets if you're a theater worker or whatever. I email them. Oh, no, I go check the dates. Nothing's available. Not one's available. So I email somebody, like, can you help me? She's like, oh, you can get a walk-in tomorrow. And basically that means that you stand outside and pray to God the day that you sit down.
Yeah.
We're the only nerds. We're there for a walk.
We also...
And we got some bomb-ass
Bomb-ass
honey.
We were in the center.
Yes.
Which, by the way...
I was not in the center.
Where were you?
So I was on a house right.
Oh, well, there you go.
And it was like we were pretty off to the center.
That show
off-center,
didn't...
not-
That show said, oh, are you on the side? We don't see you.
Oh, yeah. I told my friend that. I was like, yeah, the staging was pretty rough.
I think that's
For
fun
us.
because we were in the center. I'm like, they didn't play to us.
No,
either.
true.
I
But
know.
no. Well, you know what's interesting? Because we have to shout her out because she's a podcast listener. We did see Katie Banville that night.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
She was there. She was there.
We saw many friends our night.
Dude, Katie, Siri, Kim Heil.
Oh, wow.
Who else did we see? Someone else was there, right? Is that it?
I think that's what I remember, yeah.
Same.
The San Diego theater scene.
We just kept being like,
What's up? Yeah.
kept being like, oh my god, we're back.
Get back. It's so good to be back. I'm just gonna cry. I'm just gonna cry.
Did people say that?
No,
No.
it felt
Felt
it's
that
just
way.
that energy. It's like we've been so gone from theater, and like, yes, it's not indoors, so it's outdoors, so it feels like a little bit safe, but it was still, in a way, that's cheesy. It was like very magical to just be back. Like
It was.
Yeah.
even though
Did you cry with the first number?
I almost. What's her name? Because she she was just stunning. She came out. I felt like there was sparkle on her, like her spotlight. And
When the moon
Nyla.
is in
Yeah.
its seventh hour.
I think her last name is pronounced Sostre. Nyla
she was
Sostre.
amazing.
Dude.
I almost cried, and then the rest of the show happened.
It said, oh, honey, we're going downhill. Well, let me ask you this question. Was the house manager being a hard ass? Because, damn.
There was so the Globe is so big. Like the Globe is such a large venue that I really couldn't tell like who was staff and who was volunteer. Like, so there was somebody who, when everyone was lining up to go inside, they were like the barker. So they were like, everyone, get your tickets ready. Have your ticket and have your other ticket ready to
That's
go. So this
insane.
goes faster. And I was like, okay. And so we're just, we're standing there just getting ready. And so they would just like repeat what they were saying over and over
Wow.
again. The show is 2 hours and 10 minutes with one 15-minute intermission.
If you could see me right now, my mouth is open because, once again, the complete opposite. We stood over by the, like, where you walk in. Oh, well, first of all, I took these pictures for these ladies who were like, oh my god, we had to get a picture. And then, like,
Wait. Sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
were there a bunch of people dressed up as hippies?
we had a couple.
There was a lot.
There was a
Quote
couple.
unquote.
No, there was a
There
lot.
were so many
And they
people
were all-
who came dressed as quote unquote hippies. It was hilarious.
And for us, at least, it was like all the people who were clearly age 50 and
Yes,
above.
I was going to say, that's another thing. Honey, not a young person in sight. Dear God. I mean, let me rephrase that. Like
A majority, like 75% of the audience.
It was like a couple people, which I know Eastside had a problem. People behind us were like some kids.
Oh my god, they were like teenagers.
Yeah.
And the seat next to me was empty. Throughout the entire show, the kid kept putting his feet, and I would get the feet right next to my feet, and you know what? I pulled a Miss Karen move, and I kept turning around like. I was turning around, making some eyes like, bitch, you serious?
Well, I
my
think that's
God.
really rude to put your feet up on anything. Like that's not at your home.
no,
I think
on,
it's
now, hold
inappropriate at the movie
I
theater
was
when
gonna
there's
say-
no one there.
You two be doing that when nobody's there.
Oh, I guess so.
I do that at the movie theater because I'm at home.
Yeah,
True.
definitely not if it's somebody's like
Not
sitting
live
there.
theater.
But for
Yeah,
us,
no, not. I think that's what I meant. Is like not live theater.
they didn't even have, like, literally, once again, we did see a preview, so they were still in the process of probably, like, doing all of this, but it's
Okay.
like, we just were like, hey, where did we stand for walk-ins? One of the house managers who wasn't rude, sorry, I'm just gonna say that, was like, oh, you can stand over there. And we just like stood over by the signs being like, I hope we get in. But like, they're just like, oh, you look lovely.
So yeah, we kept getting the people complimenting our masks because everyone we were the first things. We were like Ronald McDonald and like Grimace just like standing there like, hello.
Dude, just posing for the kids as they go sit down, praying to God they want to sit down.
Oh my god. Okay.
But, yeah.
Well, should we talk about the show?
Is that everything that we've had? Like,
That's everything leading up to it, I think.
why did I feel like the house manager said something to us that I was like,
it was at the end.
oh,
Remember? Because they kept being like,
oh my god.
She was like, cut.
She said cut.
And they're like, oh, okay. And they were,
They
we
literally
can get.
Yeah, they were like, let the sun shine in.
Because they were done.
Yeah.
And they were, and so many of the boomers, they loved it that they were standing up, like clapping along to the music, and they thought that was like an encore. I guess.
And somebody clearly in the back said, cut it.
And all of a sudden it was the house manager.
Yeah, because all of a sudden it just goes, let the sun shine
And then they're running off.
And then it was like, and just run, just cut off and ran out.
They were like, oh, goodbye. Okay,
Goodbye.
okay.
Like, oh shit.
Oh, shit.
So you know, well, let me say this really quickly, and I want to preface really fast. If anybody, let me just say this right now. If anybody I know, specifically Luke or Bethany, if you're listening to this, I want to preface that this is not about you.
Mm-hmm.
This was the show that we saw, and we're here on this podcast to have honest conversation about what we see because it's important. Honey, the second I sat down and saw the set and saw them like playing Skip to My Lou, I was like, oh, I'm in for a bad time.
Oh no.
Yeah.
In for a bad time.
To preference, yeah, like I was so happy to see some of, because it's the old Globe. Like that is a dream to perform there, especially for, it's funny, for being at San Diego theater. It's like, as a San Diego actor, like it's so hard to get there.
Yeah.
It would be so hard to just, because they cast outside of New
Right.
York.
And they do amazing work. Like some of my favorite shows I've seen in San Diego are from the Globe.
Hoban, yeah.
So it's a dream. It's a dream for a San Diego actor, and it's not easy. So super proud for all the San Diego actors in this performance. But I got a lot to say.
Yes, as Frances McDormand said, pick me up, because if I fall down, I have a lot to say. That's the second time I've said that.
So I agree. Like the show, we got there and I guess you can call it a pre-show of what was going on. It just looked like a bunch of actors standing around doing nothing to me.
You had that pregnant woman sitting on the sofa doing the pregnant like.
She was meditating.
It was such a Disney like mockery of meditating. But what were you gonna say? What were you gonna say?
I mean, I have lots of thoughts on the show itself.
Oh,
I think that so like hair isn't for me.
I agree.
Agreed.
I think the music is really beautiful, but as a show, I don't want to be like a traditionalist, but I was like, where's the story?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I was reading a little bit about so in the program they have this awesome, it's almost like a magazine, these programs. They have
they really are.
Kind of like just like about the play. So
Shout
I wanted
out to Maddie.
Yeah, Madison May Williams wrote this, and I kind of wanted to like read it and talk through it.
Yeah.
And we can talk about like what we think about this situation, because the history of the show and like how it came to be, and then the fact that it's being done in 2021, I don't know. I just think it was chosen for a very specific reason. Right?
And I have feelings about that too.
So do I. Okay, so Peace, Love, and the Birth of an American Musical.
Girl.
53 years ago this spring, the dawning of the Age of Aquarius took Broadway by storm with the debut of James Rado, Jerome Ragney, and Galt McDermott's Hair. The show's opening in April 1968, after a highly successful off-Broadway run at the Public Theater, took place in a moment marked by a radical cultural shift. The civil rights movement was making way for the emergence of the Black Power / arts movement. Second wave feminism was developing, and the Vietnam War was at its height. Young people were seeking connection within the rise of the sexual revolution and anti-war and hippie communities, leading to the height of the countercultural movement of the decade. These aspects of a changing America were captured in Hair, which would revolutionize Broadway as one of the first concept and rock musicals. However, Hair is much more than just a museum piece from the late 1960s. Filled with cultural, historical, and political references, the show is a living, evolving archive of the counterculture with a legacy that continues to grow and resonate decades later.
I don't agree with that.
Well, I mean, did you feel connected to what was going on stage?
I think specifically with this production,
no. It has the potential, because, okay, here's the thing. So, we saw it, and a couple days later, long story short, I had a staff meeting, and the artistic director, Sean of Signet, was telling me about a production he saw in London, where he said it was an abandoned train station.
Whoa. And,
you went down there, and you got, a cup of tea, a little thing, and what was playing was this repeated audio of 60s 70s music, but then it would cut in with Nixon talking about the Vietnam War, Kennedy talking about the Vietnam War, Bush talking about the Afghanistan War, talking about all these different wars and then circling it back to Vietnam. And then he was there were just these people sitting in front of a fire just huddled up against each other, and then they eventually sat down. And you sat right next to them, and then somebody just started singing, and the show started.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's a cool way to relate it to the present time,
yes.
Which I felt It's interesting what you were reading the program of the Hair is more than this period, frozen in time thing. And I feel like that's what this production was. I think there was attempts to connect it to today, but
sure.
they were attempts.
Well, prime example is I forget the name of the song. There's a song about burning the flag, right?
Uh-huh, yeah.
And they throw up the Puerto Rican flag, Brazil, the Philippines, and I'm going, now I get that you have actors who clearly are from these places, but this song is about what it means to burn the American flag. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that there's not problems all over the world, but I go, by sticking up the Brazilian flag, by sticking up the Puerto Rican flag, what are you saying by that? Are you saying that you too should just burn, you should rip apart something that makes you feel tormented because it's you're from there, you know what I'm saying, where it's these characters are living in America in this moment. That's why they're doing this, because they're fed up with the country. Why are you flashing the Puerto Rican flag if you're not living in Puerto Rico? Are you fed up with Puerto Rico right now? What does that mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it felt, I don't know if you agree with this, but it felt very clean.
Oh,
it was sanitized for sure.
All of the actors' costumes were very clean. I'm supposed to believe that these people are homeless.
Thank you.
Living on the street.
They were very party city.
Party city, honey. Party city. Those wigs, darling. The show is called Hair. It's called Hair, and you mean to tell me that all these wigs? Some people, I'm going. You could have just some people that we knew. I'm you could have just shown up as yourself. You already have the hair and beard for this. Why are you being put in this cheap wig? I'm sorry, but a cheap, very poor constructed wig that's shiny. I caught the shine, despite the fact that I was 6 rows back, baby.
You thought it was shiny? I thought it was crusty.
Oh my god. But so polished.
Yeah.
The choreography, I was
oh, well, I thought the choreography was
stunning.
But not necessary.
Whoa. Oh my gosh. I feel so the opposite.
Really?
Yeah. I thought that the choreogami was very messy. No one was together. It was super off.
The shock.
And maybe it was because I was off on the side, which would be
that could be,
which would be the director's fault, because if you're staging the show, I should be able to see you from all angles, even if I'm sitting on the side. But no one was together. People were turning on different moments.
Well, I will say that another problem I did have, I feel like I'm just tearing this shit apart, but a problem I did have was I was you're not an ensemble. I felt like there was too much acting that was look at me, I'm performing.
Every performance felt this is my spotlight. This is my spotlight.
I'm you're an ensemble. You're a collective.
It's an ensemble piece,
Yeah. Y'all are out here living with each other. You're in sync with each other. And I do have to agree that whenever it was time to sing, I was going, too many of you are trying to up somebody else here, and boy, the sound.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Boy, the sound.
It sounds beautiful, but I did not know what they were saying at all.
I couldn't make out. I could not understand.
I genuinely,
I really couldn't.
I was like, I wish that there were, like, I hate to be like, whatever, but like, genuinely, I was like, is there a place where you could put subtitles up, please?
Yeah, it was a huge bummer. This theater is an outdoor theater, and they don't usually do musicals out here.
It's a Shakespeare strictly theater.
I've never seen a musical out there, so I kind of understand why. Now, the instruments sounded amazing.
Yeah,
sure.
It was
amazing,
the microphones. And there were a few performances that stood out to me. Actually, honestly, overall, I thought that the performances, the singing performances were really good. I didn't think that anybody really stood out to me as not being great.
I
thought two people were great.
Yeah.
Like the opening number, Aquarius, and I thought, is it Storm? The
Yes.
actor's name?
She's
incredible.
I did not see Donna Summer, but I did see Almost Famous, and she was fantastic.
She was so
She was
good.
amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like everybody was pretty much on the same level. Everyone at least who had solos, because not everybody has solos in the show.
There was one
Lord.
solo, which it's a beautiful song, and
It comes out of left field.
it
Really comes out of
You know what
nowhere.
comes out of left field that I genuinely was like, I don't understand what's going on here, and I was like, can we just get on with this?
This is the yellow shirt.
The yellow shirt scene. I was like,
weird.
why are you throwing in this random scene where she brings back this yellow shirt to be like, I brought this for you, and he's like, I'm gonna tear it up and slip it down my crotch. I hate you.
And even with that
So
scene,
weird.
because just in the musical itself, the scene is just random, but there was moments like in that scene, but also throughout the whole musical where it's like the acting.
Ooh, honey.
Yeah.
Like I think of the moment where I believe it's Storm's character who comes back and she was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
we were protesting, we were rioting." And it almost felt like how you would say like
Yep.
Sunday school special, like, "Yeah, riot, yeah, protest," and that's when they cast us. Oh my god,
Honey, listen, honey, how you bored me. Oh, honey.
Yeah.
Abba didn't write that, but I'm claiming it.
I think that. Okay, so I'm gonna read a little bit more just about like how this show even came to be, because we were talking about this a little bit before we started recording, which is like this is a concept musical. Do you want to say what that means?
Yeah, I don't have a degree in this, but a concept musical, for what I understand, is it's not a straight line musical. Like it's more conceptual, which concept musical.
Right.
But it's not like a full on story. Could be vignettes. It can just be music that is like interwoven with story. Like I think of the Who's Tommy also
Right.
as like a concept musical. Company is a concept musical where it's not like the basic structure of like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, where it's beginning, conflict, resolution. It's whatever it wants to be.
Would you say Pippin's a concept musical?
I think there's conceptual elements, but I think there's still like
A story.
a solid story.
Yeah,
in there.
I agree. I just always hear the argument that people put Pippin in that category, and I always feel the same. Where I'm like, well, there is a plot there. Like there is a beginning, middle, end to that show. So I don't quite. I think the dancing is a little conceptual, but I was like, I don't think the show is conceptual.
Yeah, there's elements, but
Yeah.
like things where it's like, for example, when I first saw the Who's Tommy, I was like,
Confused.
what is going on here? But then after thinking about it and thinking about the music, it's like, oh, I see where this was going.
Yeah.
There was a story here, but it wasn't spoon like fed to you.
Yeah. Why did I say cool?
Would you say like a jukebox musical is kind of close to a concept musical, or do jukebox musicals try to like weave a story into, and like the songs don't really make sense to the story all that much?
I was gonna say that.
I think it can be. I think jukebox musicals fall more into that line where they try to make a story happen within the music they pick.
Yeah.
But I think it can be conceptual if it's original and however they take it.
But like Mamma Mia is a jukebox musical, and like the plot is a little shaky. But
Yeah.
it's like it works, you know. But like, I think that something that's like, I don't know, like the Who's Tommy, where you're like, it's just the music of the Who. It's like, well, honey, it's like, if he has me to break down the plot, I'm gonna like, even for Hair, it's like, if you asked me to break down the plot of this show, I would genuinely fail.
Yeah, it's not... Yeah, it doesn't really have a plot. Like, there is kind of a plot towards the end of Act 2, but, like, the whole plot could have been done in one song.
Well, yeah. And I mean, there's, like, the whole... I don't know why I always... This is what I'm saying. It's, like, I was so lost I couldn't understand them. Burger? No, Claude went... Claude?
Claude
is the one. See, I think there is a plot just with a character.
It's Claude.
And it's Claude.
Yeah. He's the only... Well, I guess they try to give Burger a plot, kind of. But
and Sheila.
What?
And Sheila.
Yeah, with Sheila. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to read a little bit more of this. So, the musical, subtitled The American Tribal Love Rock Musical, was born out of the close relationship between co-writers James Rado and Jerome Ragney, who met and began working on early drafts of Hair in 1964. Inspired by the growing hippie movement they saw among youth in the East Village of New York City, the duo was determined to create a show that reflected the current cultural moment. In a 2007 interview, that's a long time after, Rado recalled, "There was so much excitement in the streets and the parks and the hippie areas, and we thought if we could transmit this excitement to the stage, it would be wonderful." Through local producer and friend Nat Shapiro, Rado and Ragney would connect with Grammy Award-winning jazz composer Galt McDermott. Although McDermott was completely unfamiliar with the world of the youth counterculture, he was enthused by the material Rado and Ragney provided him, and he agreed to compose the score to the rock musical. Oh boy. I kind of understand why, like, it feels a little disconnected, like someone who wasn't involved in this movement and didn't care wrote these songs. That's interesting.
That is interesting because I did not know that, and I feel like it okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Trying not to creak.
You're okay. It's okay. Okay, we'll pause for a second. So I think it's interesting because I feel like it shows.
It does. I think
it shows, but I still think there's, like, not to be cheesy again, but I think there's, like, still a soul to the piece, especially the music, that it has a way to connect to us, but, yeah, I feel like, especially with the audience that we had, like, it was clear who was enjoying.
Yes.
Who was enjoying.
Because, I mean, like I said, I knew those 4 songs before I saw the show.
Yeah.
And, like, one thing that, like, really was driving me crazy was the fact that I was like, do you understand what you're singing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand, and I just think I have a problem with musical theater because I go, but see, to me, this is where it's where I had beef was I was going, this is musical theater, but this also is something that is so rooted in, like, real life that I go, are you allowed to be, like, musical theater actory in this? Like, where's the realism in all of this?
Yeah, that's
where's the honesty?
Yes. There was no honesty, there was no realism. I feel like it didn't feel grounded to me, and I thought, in my personal opinion, I think for this piece to connect to the audience of today, specifically us youngins, it just needs to be grounded and needs to be, like, treated in a respectful way, and a respectful way that is not stereotyping this culture or this movement or these people. Like, these are based off of real people. These people are homeless. It's not something to be like, and if you're gonna do a stereotype with it, then make it a point, like, look, this is how some people lived, and maybe it's not a joke. Like, maybe this was some serious stuff. Like, young kids were, like, they were dropping out of high school. They wanted to be hippie. Like, almost do a cautionary tale,
right?
Or do a respectful thing where, like, this was a beautiful thing that people lived.
Because my bad.
Well, what I'm wondering is, do you think that's the acting and the direction, or do you think that's the writing?
I think it was in my personal opinion, I think it was the acting and the directing.
Same. I don't want to speak poorly because I do think that James has really strong moments.
Kian's talking about the director,
James Vasquez. But I do go, like, a stance was missing. Because I agree where I'm like, the moment that I was like, oh, okay, I see exactly why you did this. And I was like, yes. This is why, no offense, I think as generations, we argue or we beef because there's a part in like Act 2 when he's tripping balls and they come out, this has happened on our show, and they say that line where they're like, well, we have to go take the land from the yellow people who was stolen by we have to go take the land that was captured by the yellow people, excuse my language, which was like being held captive by the black people, which was stolen from the red people. And the whole audience, all these old white people who, I'm going to be honest with you, probably some of them are a little bit elite, are like, oh yeah.
They were like, yeah, they started clapping.
And I was like, oh. Sorry, we're going to say go ahead.
No, I was going to say, we're in the audience like, hell
no. Because I go, oh, I see what you're doing. And once again, maybe I'm wrong, but to me, I go, you thought that you're like, we're going to come back after this pivotal summer we had where, you know, the industry really, the world really woke up and was like bringing things to a forefront, Black Lives Matter, all that. And your response to like, we see what American theater, like the change in the world was doing here. You decided to take a piece that was about revolutionary culture and that was like revolting against America and the system and, you know, et cetera, and go, oh, all of our old white donors, we don't want to upset you by doing something that may be a little bit too, like, CNN or, you know, whatever to you, but we're going to take you back to a time that feels nostalgic.
Yeah.
But I go, but what does that say, though? Still, like, I'm going, what do you say by doing this?
Yeah.
I don't know. To quote Jessica Prudencio, it's like, to me, the whole time I was going, like, what are you saying with this? Like, because with anything, when you take something that's a classic, you know, it's like, well, what are you doing it for? Why are you revitalizing it if it's already been done a bunch of times and no offense, probably done better?
Yeah.
I know you mentioned like if it was the production and the directing and the acting. I do think also there is some flaws within this piece just itself, but I agree where it's like the main thing we heard why people were loving it was the nostalgia, because we clearly I don't know about you. We wanted to leave at intermission.
Ooh.
We wanted to leave, and we had someone who clearly could notice that, and they're like, so how do you think? How do you feel about this? She was going in, and she was like, because this is nostalgic for me.
Yeah.
And it was her first time watching it live.
Which is beautiful, It was
beautiful.
What do you think? Do you think it was the production, or do you think it was the show?
Well, I mean, I do think there's like, I mean, this happens sometimes with like movement theater, like not movement like dancing, but like this like is the movement. You know, it happens where like you'll have like your elderly white wealthy patron base go to see a show like this and like, oh, we did our part.
And that's what I'm saying.
We did our part.
And that's what I'm saying.
We are with it because we get that. We heard that line, and you know what? That made me think. And now I'm going to go home to my multi-million-dollar house in San Diego on the bay, and I'm going to make myself some cookies. Yep.
Because that's my thing, to me, I go, the end of that show, I should be gutted. Yeah. I should be sitting there, like, being so ripped apart. Go ahead.
No, continue, because I want to get into the end. Because I have a question for you, Joe.
Same. I'm going, I should be gutted. I should be so torn at the fact. It should be like Cabaret, where you're like, I was just presented this really, like, really powerful song, but the imagery that I'm looking at is absolutely disturbing and haunting, and I shouldn't be able to get up and get out of my seat and leave and be like, well, damn, y'all, let's go have some coffee and cake and just kind of, like, enjoy the rest of our night. You should be able to sit with it. I mean, when I saw not to bring up Cabaret, when I saw Cabaret, I thought about that ending for months.
Yeah, I wanted a cigarette and just be like, oh my god, what's going on here?
Good lord.
What did you get at the end?
Yes, tell us, please.
What do you mean, what did I get?
What do you think happened at the end?
Oh, he dies.
Interesting you got that.
Yeah. Honey.
Because, nope.
Baby.
Flew over my head.
Robbie had to tell me. He goes, well, yeah, when Claude dies, and I was like, when did he die?
Yeah, he dies.
Because I know he dies. Sorry. No, it's part of the show, but it's weird. With this production, I didn't get that.
When did that happen? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so the way that, like, it became very clear to me. So he's in the background, and it's raining / snowing.
I got snow.
Everyone else was, like, behind or in front of him, and then they come out into the audience, and he's the only one left alone on stage, and he put his hand like in his gut, and
he didn't do that.
like he like hung his head. It was subtle, but like actually it was pretty apparent. So that means if he didn't do that, they must have changed the direction.
He just stood still.
Yeah, because he just stood there, and I couldn't.
He just stood there while it snowed, and then while everyone else left, one person had their hand extended, and then he extended the hand, and then he just walked while the gates opened.
That's so fascinating because I had a friend go see it, and she also did not get that.
Interesting. Yeah, he like put his hand like he had been shot.
Interesting.
And then he didn't do like a hand extension. He hung his head down, and then like he slowly turned around, and then the gate opened for him. And it's kind of like he was like it was like heaven imagery because the gate opened for him, and it was like the gate was illuminated. So I was like, oh, like he died.
See, that's so different because for us it was like they're all singing and the snow falls, and then he just turns around and leaves. So and see, I thought he was like I should have.
I kind of got it more as like he went to war,
and that's what I thought too, because I thought like because they're like, oh, he's invisible, where is he? And I thought, oh, because he's left this group, like he's left his brother, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. But they're like, oh, well, we don't see him anymore because he's not a part of us.
Yeah, and that's what I thought they were doing, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say, see, here's my thing. Let me ask you this question. What did you think? Like, between acts, did you, like, feel like one was stronger than the other?
I did. I think that I didn't think for 1 second to leave an intermission because the two of you had told me that Act 2 was so much better.
We didn't say that.
Robbie said that.
Oh, Robbie did?
Yeah,
Robbie said that.
Robbie was a big fan of Act 2.
Well, I thought that I really enjoyed the puppets and like the weird like caricature stuff.
Yeah.
And I like the nightmare scene.
Let me leave.
Why didn't you like it?
I thought the nightmare scene, and you got this as well, Kian. I felt like it was almost like, like Reefer Madness, like where it's like makes fun of like stoner culture, or it's like, this is like bad.
I'm sorry.
I just don't enjoy that. They really hammed it up for that part.
Because Walking in Space is one of my favorite songs from that show. I think the lyrics, and they're like, our eyes are open, is so beautiful. Because, I mean, I think that personally, as somebody who has taken drugs, I think that when you take acid and you really, like, are with somebody who you feel safe with, and then, like, it really opens up your mind, you are having a, like, damn, like, my world is not the same right now, and I'm like, instead it was like, we're in purple light,
we're moving, oh my god,
and I was like, oh no,
like the visuals were great in Act 2, but
and the hard thing is that some people have been like, go ahead.
I think maybe that's why I enjoyed it, because I was like, oh, something.
Yes.
Because the whole stage, the whole first act was very bare. And I was like, oh, stuff, And at that point, I was like, I kind of buckled in, and I was like, okay, this is just a musical. Like, this is just a super musical.
Sure.
I'm not going to get any, like, super deep. Okay, so every musical I see, I always compare it to Next to Normal, because it's like, it's my favorite musical, because it is an amazing story, and the songs do what I think that musicals should do, which is drive the story forward.
Yes.
The characters are singing because they literally can't speak anymore.
Right.
The emotions are too strong, and so that's why they sing. And that's why I like musicals, because when they do it right, it's really effective. But this is just like, listen to how high I can sing right now. Now, don't get me wrong. I can enjoy that. I love seeing talent on stage.
Sure.
I enjoy it a lot.
Sure.
But like, that is completely separate than seeing like a riveting musical to me. So I'm kind of like, okay, now this is like a concert. So when I saw like theatricality happening on stage, I was like, oh, cool.
Well, that's where James is touched to me, because he's done The Grinch and he's done some other productions I've seen, and like, from what I have heard from a couple people who have seen it before, they're like, Act 2 always makes no sense. And so for them, they were like, I enjoyed this because there was, instead of letting it be this like, kind of like doesn't go anywhere, it's like Robbie was like, I'm glad that he embraced a more creative take on it in visuals. But I also go like, it's just the pessimist in me. I'm sorry, where I go, you also have Globe money.
Yeah,
like
that's
I
true.
go like what would you have done if you didn't have that? You know what I'm saying?
I like the little boat.
I knew it. As soon as it came out, I was like, oh, Justin, I love this.
I love the little boat.
And that's interesting because a lot of people have been liking Act 2 more, and I mean, I don't like either, but I think Act 1 better.
Same.
Okay.
Because at least for me with Act 1, I was going like, I was like, I'm experiencing this. Where unfortunately for me, which we'll get to it, the second Act 1 ended, I was like, oh, I'm ready to go. So for me...
Well, we were ready to go by Act 1, so we're like, there's nothing more to see, ladies and gentlemen.
Act 2, it was like, honey, start the clock, because I'm ready to go home.
Are we going to talk about it?
Yep.
Let's talk about it.
Yep. There was... Okay, listen, I'm going to say this really quickly, because I just need to preface this. I understand that nudity is not taboo, okay? I also understand that you don't want to have it, like, for instance, when I did Bird, I was like, I don't want everybody to talk about the nudity all the time. Whoops. It's like, I felt like there were so many arguments where I was like, you guys, the nudity is so small in the show, please stop making it a bigger deal than it is. That being said,
hair is known for
it. It's about looking at different bodies, at looking at different people, about looking at the human being and going, let's just celebrate ourselves and what we do and like our revolution of being a human.
It's I think for the story that it has in here, that's a very important part of it. Especially for the end of Act 1.
That damn song is so... Sorry, I get passions. I love the music because it's like, you have Claude, in this moment where it's like, for the whole show, he's been like, what up, y'all? And then all of a sudden, his parents are like, you can't be useless. Go to the war. And all his friends are like, oh my God, like, we just burned our draft cards. Like, we're going to be our own people. Yeah. Let's celebrate, let's celebrate our community. And we're so happy that we're like, we're going to just get naked and have a good time. And girl, I don't know about you. For us, honey, they start taking out the clothes, lights out. We saw I won't lie, I saw maybe one bush on somebody and half a butt. That was it.
It was so dark that my eyes, because it was so dark and they had that prop with the fire, my eyes were just like focused on the fire and also in pain from like that harsh red light that I don't think I saw anything. I think I only saw their heads.
What about you, baby?
Well, so they must have fixed the lighting because like it was very clear nudity, like it was very clear what was happening, but I didn't really feel impacted by it.
No.
I was kind of like, wait, what? Why? What's going on? Why are they getting... Wait, what?
It does have that feel in this production.
I wanted a moment of like rebirth or like,
because that's what it is.
Like metamorphosis or like renewal.
That is what it is. That is like, what it is.
Just like shedding something, but like I didn't feel that at all. I feel like all the actors like moved back to the stage because they were blocked to do so.
Yep.
And then they took off their clothes and then stood there.
Yep.
And then they
for
left.
For us it was like take off, go. Like, they didn't even stand there. It was like, take off, leave.
They just stood there. So, like, I was like, what is the impact of this? Like, I really was like, I wonder what I'm supposed to be feeling right now. Because I really didn't feel anything.
But that,
I don't know if I'm supposed to feel shocked. Because, like you kind of touched on, human beings, like, we have modesty. We wear clothing. We're one of the only animals that does that. And, like, for me, like, the human body is really beautiful, and I guess I don't think of it as like, oh my God, they got naked. Like, I don't think of it like that. I think of it like, oh, like, this is you in your purest form. This is you with no ornaments, no garments. So
definitely going with the counterculture of what this community is. Yeah. It's like, we're not following the norms of society.
And I was trying to figure out, like, why. It also could have been because I literally could not understand what they were saying.
But
and I don't know the musical, so I don't know what the song is about.
Well, it's about what you were just saying, which it's like, it is them, because that whole song, it's that Hare Krishna, like, let it in, and then where do I go? And it's like, it's that whole sequence of like, they've just found out the war is happening. They all decide we're not going to go to war. We're going to burn our draft cards. We're going to rebirth ourselves and stick with this and stick with each other and basically say, let's go into the world proud and be like rejecting of this culture. We're not going to do this. Whereas Claude is like, ugh, I could do that with them, but the inside of my life and my mind is saying it's probably I'm too scared to make the wrong choice, because that's why during the Muslim they're saying burn your card, burger, like burn the card, like burn it, but he doesn't do it. And so but once again it's like it's law, and that's what I'm sorry, I feel like I'm tearing this apart, and it's like I just am like, it's because it has so much potential, and it falls on deaf ears
for different people. So like as an actor, and like we could talk about it, like being nude on stage.
It's
for
such a fun experience. Well, not fun, but it's like freeing. It's so vulnerable. It's, I don't know, I feel like it makes you feel a lot of things. It makes you feel so connected to the human experience in some weird way.
Yeah. So like, I feel like everybody is different.
Yes.
All people are different. For some of the actors that did that, it must have been very, very hard.
Yeah.
For some of them, I'm sure they were just like, oh, it's just like being a person. When I was a kid, you couldn't keep clothes on me. Mm-hmm. And honey, as an adult, it's hard to keep clothes on me now.
Honey, I get home and I'm like,
yeah. Like, it's not something, like, I don't care about modesty. If anything, I do it for other people. So,
Agreed.
like, the idea of being nude on stage for somebody like me, I'm just like, yeah, like, if it drives the story forward, then sure.
Yes.
Did this drive the story forward?
Not that I could see, dude.
I think I felt like it happened just because it needed to happen.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like it was blocked to happen, and that's why it happened.
Well, the direction for me just was like, it was just like, it was lacking. Like, I was going like, and I understand that maybe I'm being too critical of it, because I am coming at it from, not to be pretentious, but like from a director mindset, and I'm going like, what was the point of this? What was the motivation to, like, I don't know, I'm going as I'm sitting in the room during the collage and I'm watching actors miss moments, it's like, everything you do has to drive the story. So you can't just do something to be like, that was my cue, okay, now I'm done. It's like, no, baby, you're on stage, you gotta tell the story until you walk off. But it was just like, and we're walking to the back, and now we're
slowly taking off, and then lights out.
And it was like, oh man, and not even the fact that I was like, I didn't get to see titties. No, I don't care about that. I don't care about that. I'm saying, like,
I didn't get to see my foot.
Thank you.
I wanted to see the good foot.
I was, oh my god. I don't have a foot fetish. But I just was like, I missed the power in it. And that's what bummed me out.
I think that was just, in general, not just in that moment, but just throughout
the whole show.
Thing, where it was missing the power, it was missing the impact.
Because I'm sorry, you can say something. Go ahead, baby.
Yeah, what you were saying, like, where's the power? Where's the sex? Where's the radical, like...
everything that you were reading off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where is all that?
Like,
there's an idea there.
Where is that? Like, I feel like it's, like the Muppets. And, like, they're, like, characterizations of, like, what we think of hippies, not like actual hippies or people who are radicalized.
That was the impact I got for this production. They were characters. They were stereotypes,
imitations. I mean, it's what I've been talking about in rehearsal sometimes with Lacage. Like, it's, I mean, the thing that's so interesting is it's like these shows like Lacage and Hair, when they showed up on the scene, were like, people were like, what are you talking about? It's like, with Hair, it's like, to put hippies on a stage, like, what are you talking... For Lacage, it's like, you had two men kissing on stage for the first time, like, and it's like, we had to have this talk in rehearsal where I was like, I keep saying I was like, but I was like, you realize that when you sing this song, which is I Am What I Am, because he was kind of like, he just did it, and he was so presentational. I said, you do realize that this song is even now, these words for some people are what they will continue to feel their entire life. This song is a revolution. By standing on the stage as a gay man in drag, like telling the world that it's like, I'm just like you if you let me be that way. The same thing with hair, where it's like, we're not your enemy. We're not to be made fun of because we think these things. We are just people who are seeing the freedom in life, and we are encouraging you to find your own freedom. But it's lost.
Yeah.
It's lost.
I think there was one moment in the show that kind of like summed it all up for me. So we come back from intermission and we're sitting down and the actors were doing their thing. Like, you know, they're like hanging out on stage, which is like fine. Like some audience members are like, oh my God, they're like hanging out on stage. And I'm like, it's a choice, that's for sure. And one of the actors, they came down to get into their place and they made eye contact with the audience and they go, are you having a good time? To the audience members, like kind of like just being friendly, being nice. And I was like, that's all this is for this actor.
Yep.
This actor cares that the audience is having a good time. Not that they're seeing themselves reflected in the show. Yep. Not that they're changing their minds. Yep. Not that they're creating like a powerful movement or a moment or anything. It's, are you having a good time?
And I think that's how it was directed.
And
I did not have a good time.
No. And I'm so sorry. Listen, call me an asshole. Find a different show then. You're doing the wrong show.
Vroom. Sorry.
No, it's
Let's
true.
rock.
That's right. That's right. But no, I'm going. Choose another show to do then. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to read this. It really sums up the show. So, Gavin Creel, who played Claude in the highly lauded 2000. I keep saying 20. I want to say 2009, but it's 2009. Broadway revival, stated in an interview that 4 simple goals drive the actions of the tribe. We want to be young, we want to be heard, we want to be seen, and we want to stay alive.
Missed it completely.
Yep.
But would not even agree with that.
I have a question for both of you. So we're coming back from a pandemic.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anything that they could have done with this performance to nod to that? And do you think that if they would have done that, it would have been a good idea or a bad idea?
With this show specifically?
You can't make it about COVID. That wouldn't work.
Correct? No. I think I more mean like, could you have done this show keeping the fact that we're in a pandemic in mind? Yeah, while the actors are on stage.
I think so. I think you could.
And would that be a bad idea or would that be a good idea?
I think it'd be a great idea, quite frankly.
I think it would be a good idea. I think it would maybe be hard for especially the artists that would be working on it, just because it's like the pandemic was so hard for artists. But I think it would also be emotional, but also like in a good way.
Yes.
Also, you can't do something that's not in the script.
Right.
That's not really what I mean. I'm more like, what about this show makes it worth doing after a pandemic?
And that's what I'm sorry, but the minute they announced it, I was like, hair? Like, what? Especially because the Globe is such a pioneer of new work that I was like, hair?
Yeah.
Like, and once again, you bring up a great point where I go, you wanted people to have a good time, and that's when I go, well, then do something else that's not... Because I guess I'm going, you can't reduce something that's so powerful. I mean, I guess you can, but it's like, it's kind of insulting to be like, I guess people do it, but that's like doing Rent and being like, are you having a good time? And it's like a musical about AIDS and about drugs and about you're gonna ask somebody like having a good time? I mean, I don't know. But I do want to say, I feel like I'm talking a lot, but I do want to say that you bring up a good point where it's like, I do know that for some of our friends who are in the show, it is, and I applaud them because the Globe is not an easy place to get into. I want to work at the Globe, you know? It's like...
We probably won't after this.
I know. So, listen, once again, I'm just an honest person, I believe, speaking honestly. But I just go, like, it is probably emotional to come after a year of no performing, to then be able to step on the stage at a place like the Globe, and to probably have, you know, sold out audiences clap for you every night. It's probably riveting, you know?
An amazing feeling. Can I read this last paragraph? Because I do think that it's interesting. This is like kind of like the reasoning for doing the show. Let's see, where should I start? The group of young hippies living in New York and actively protesting the Vietnam War balances radical sexual and political conflict within both their tribe and mainstream society. Claude, our protagonist, struggles with both his invisibility and his destiny for either greatness or madness. It is no coincidence that much of the first act of the show consists of the tribe members introducing themselves to the theatrical audience. It is their way of taking up space, announcing their presence, and, as director James Vasquez has pointed out, introducing us to and celebrating their authentic selves. Hair and its ongoing legacies have never been more relevant to explore than in our current moment. These young tribe members fight back against evil and social injustice with spirit, humanity, and a clever sense of humor that never lets the audience sit back and relax. Hair is a whirlwind of satirical text, gorgeous choreography, and an amazing score that reminds us of the strength and beauty found in the power of the collective. When the tribe sings "Let the Sunshine In," it is a demand, a rally, a desperate cry, and a celebration in one. Hair states that in order for change to occur, we cannot sit idly back, but must take up the good fight ourselves.
Yeah, all that, I wish it was there.
Thank you. I'm going, that's what I wanted.
Yeah. It sounds good on paper.
But you didn't do it.
Madison, you have a way with words.
Madison, I'm going to tell you right now, she probably listens to this, but like, God, what a genius she is.
So as budding theatrical artists, right? So we haven't made it, okay? And we're not saying that we have.
Oh my God.
But what can we do? What could we do? What could have we done to make this better?
I think not be afraid of the sanitize, like, not be afraid of what this piece is, not sanitize it, and honestly, not make it a spectacle.
Thank you.
I think I'm glad the Globe did this.
Me sitting over here like, my favorite part is
this and it was great. It was beautiful for this production, but I think this was the wrong venue.
Yep.
It was the wrong director. It was the wrong place it was being produced. I won't take away the actors. Like, I would want to see this original cast just directed differently and in a different venue. Like, if we take away the spectacle and we like did it outside in the grass area of the Globe, and we tell them like, just live these people, this piece, and so watch it unfold.
What I'm hearing from you is like an immersive piece.
Yes. It needed immersive, and they tried to, but it did not work.
No.
They putting actors out into the house is not immersion.
But my thing is I go, I should have, because what I really wanted was to walk up and immediately where that grass section is, where are they out there? Why aren't they out there singing or having something? You can't interact with them, but they're there. They're saying hi to you. They're greeting you. You know what I'm saying?
They like not focus on the audience, but with themselves and these people and their stories.
Yes,
that's what I wanted, and I think with what you read, that's how we could get that.
Yes, because for instance, Sean, you know, he made a deliberate choice. He was like, I want us eventually in the season to get to the things that we need to address about life and the things that have changed about us. But when people come back, I want them to just enjoy themselves for this moment. And so I'm like,
have a good time.
Right. And I'm like, you know what? Then sure. Sit up there and have everybody clap to the best of times and leave. And even then, I think Lacage, if don't know, can have some pivotal moments. But once again, I go, if all you wanted was for us to enjoy ourselves, which, hey, some people probably did. And if you did, that's wonderful. But again, I go, you could have chosen a lot of different things. Why did you choose hair? If you know, really at the end of it, all you want, because like I said, on paper, that sounds wonderful.
Great. Yeah.
That did not come through.
And also, I hate to be a bitch, but even if you just look at their poster, look at that poster on the program.
It's pretty.
It's pretty.
It's so pretty.
But doesn't it also just look like some white girl at Coachella?
It does.
Yep.
I mean.
Yep.
Yeah, but.
Oh, well, yeah, the bigger one is the white girl.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's clear what they wanted, and I think they sort of successfully did that with it just being, I guess, a good time. I didn't have a good time, but I agree where it's like, then maybe this wasn't the right piece for that.
And I just have to wonder, and I know that we are people who I think enjoy different, we don't.
But I can have a good time when I want to.
Same, like I can
go, I was going to say Hedwig, but I have a good time at Hedwig, and then it's like,
God.
oh my God.
My God. What about you, Jill? What do you think? Do you think you feel like it, do you agree with that? Do you feel like it, you know, I mean, I think we're all the same where we enjoy it. We enjoy a more immersive, more like grounded thing.
How do we fix theater? I think we have to get rid of the traditional theater model, but I mean, how much money do you think it costs to set up the festival theater at the Globe?
Oh, probably.
It's
millions
and millions and millions of dollars. They're not going to abandon their usual
and that's the hard thing.
And so, like, I do think that we're in a very, very niche. We're a niche market because we're young and we want to feel something because we're completely numb because we've lived our lives on our phones and our screens. And you know what a funny thing that I learned the other day is we're the very last generation. Because what year were you born, Isai?
I'm 97. I'm Gen Z.
Yeah. So you still grew up. If you were born in the 90s, you still grew up at a time when the internet wasn't readily available to you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We grew up with a memory of a time without smartphones and without readily accessible internet access.
Yeah.
And we're the very last generation to do that.
Yeah, I had my Barbies and I played with them.
Same. I was like, brought it on the bike and I said, let's go, y'all.
But like, because of that, we are seeking more. We're seeking more from our entertainment and we're seeking more from our theater because we're also, you know, theater people. We care about it and we want it to be good and we want to affect change, and doing it in, you know, proscenium style, like these big like musicals. How can it really happen in that form anymore for people like us? I don't know if it's possible.
I think it's just know your piece.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And know what you want to do with it. Yep. Like, if you want to do 42nd Street, great. There's an audience for that.
Do it.
And that can be done in proscenium.
Yep.
But if you want to do maybe something and you want your audience to feel something like, let's say, for example, cabaret, you can do it in that proscenium style. Or you can do something different with it that can be powerful, that can be relevant to the times, and that can also have an impact. Mm-hmm. So it's just knowing the piece, like what can be done in that style, and what can be adapted to change.
Yeah. So we both had crazy audience members.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we did?
Okay, who wants to go first?
You go first.
Okay, so like I said, went with my friend Alexa. She's so sweet. I love her so much. And we're sitting, I think we had one row behind us. We were pretty far back. And we got there, the two front seats, like the two seats in front of us were completely empty. So I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. Maybe we'll like get to see everything. No, honey. A couple comes in. The guy's like 6 feet tall and he sits right in front of me. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever, it's fine. Well, Alexa's taller than me. He ended up switching with his wife. So then his wife was in front of me so I could actually see. And I was like, sweet. And then the seat next to me was empty. And I was like, sweet. Maybe I could have like a little bit of room. Oh no. Here she comes.
Oh my God.
Here she comes. I never saw her face on purpose. I didn't want to know what she looked like. I did know that she was an older white woman. And boy was she fidgety. She would not stop moving. She kicked me a few times because she was like she was crossing her legs back and forth.
Got you real good.
Kick her back.
Yes, she kicked me a few times. I was like,
honey,
you know what? It's fine.
Oh no, she would have gotten a bruise from me.
that line, I know exactly the line that you talk about. They want us black people to go and fight against the yellow people for the white people who stole from the red the red people. For that line, she's the only person in the audience that went, "Wow, yeah!"
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Right next to me. Oh yeah. But the kicker, the thing that got me, and I've never been so shocked in a show in my life.
Oh boy, here we go.
It's the big ending number. Everybody's dancing. We're dancing.
The sunshine.
She pulls out her phone.
Oh my god.
She takes a picture and the flash goes
Oh my god.
The flash goes and everyone turns around and looks at her.
Yeah.
And she doesn't put it away. She didn't put it away. She did it again.
Oh.
She took another picture with the flash on.
The disrespect.
She's dancing. And like, so since I'm a theater person, I was like, is this my job? Do I tell her not to do that?
Where's Patti LuPone?
Same.
What do I do?
Who do you think you are?
I was shocked. I was so shocked. I literally was like, oh my god. Like,
that is appalling.
What do I do? And I don't want to make a scene because my friend Alexa was there, but I was really upset that she had the audacity to just, but then again, she was having so much fun and she was like dancing, and I kind of was like, do I want to take this away from her? And I was like, where are the ushers? The ushers should be doing this. Anyways, all this went through my head in about 5 seconds, and then it was over, but still, I've never been so shocked. It's the blatant copyright infringement.
Right. They said, hello, ma'am, we're going to arrest you. Yeah. The Globe's going to be like, knock, 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 bitch, put it away.
Hello, Actors Equity.
If I was in your position, I'd be embarrassed because I'm like, I do not want to leave and anyone think it's me.
I was so embarrassed. Yes, I was like, I literally was embarrassed.
I would have been like, that's her. Not
I
me,
could see you
not
getting
me.
all like,
I would have been like, let's go, get up, come on, it's on us.
Oh my god.
I was like, this bitch has kicked me like in this 2-hour period, and I don't care about that.
That was a great time to just give her a kick
I
right
was just saying, just like, oops, knock her out, take her leg out. Take her leg out.
Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't me.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
what was yours?
Who should tell? Should we tell, like, go back and forth?
I think you remember more of it.
So, we sit down, and, like, we have great seats, like, dead center, like, probably, like, 5th row. Now, during the I Got Life number, I could see from the corner of my eye
Oh, yeah.
a woman getting down.
Oh.
And I was like, wait a minute, am I seeing this right? And, like, every number that increased, it was just more and more
Was she
vigorous
flailing?
dancing, hands in the air, clapping, singing, and I'm going like, oh wow, she, like, everyone around, I think everyone was kind of like, occasionally looked over like, okay girl, and like, I get it, right? Like, I think it's good sometimes to go to a show where you are allowed to really hoop it up, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to sit in silence all the time. But there was some times where I was like, ma'am, you are really singing and getting down to a number that really ain't that, like, I mean, when they, like,
it's fun,
but it
ain't that fun.
Like, when they handed out flyers, she was like, yeah, like, she, like, yanked it out of their hand. I mean,
And it fell on the floor and like...
she yanked it. Well then, right? Mind you, she's dancing, clapping the whole time. Then, intermission. He and I are talking. Me and Nisa are like, you want to go, girl? Like, oh, no. All of a sudden, here she comes. And it's like, are you enjoying the show? Are you loving the show? Please tell me you're loving it. You seem like you're not liking it. What are you thinking? And I'm honest, and I'm like,
We were like, it's not for us.
Dog slaps me in my shoulder and is like, no, you can't. Which then she eventually would tell us that, she bought the album in high school.
Like, this was very nostalgic for her.
She had never seen it, but it was her first time, and she was like, it's the music. And I was like, sure.
God.
Oh, it doesn't stop there. So we're like, oh, how great. And then I can see her, like, getting excited because we're giving her attention. Now, mind you, I think she definitely had a little too much to drink.
Well, I think someone came back. I don't know if it was
Her husband
or someone she came with. Brought a wine, so it's like,
so
okay, then.
You're drinking.
You were drinking, girl.
So,
okay, good.
So we're like, oh, great. Then she goes, you guys smell so good.
You guys, oh my god. Yeah.
She goes, you guys smell
You should see my face right
so
now.
good. And she goes, what are you wearing? And I'm like, I think I brought some of East Side's cologne, and I was like, I had on my Versace. I was like, I'm wearing Versace. And he's like, I'm wearing Calvin Klein. She goes, let me smell you. Let me smell you.
She smells us.
Smells us. And then she asked the question that I was like, I knew it was coming.
She said, you guys are so cute. You guys are adorable.
No.
Are you a couple?
You guys are partners, right?
You guys are partners, right?
And I was like, well, he says like, we're brothers. Thank you. And then is like, but proceeds to ask us about like our life, what we do, and so I try to like cut it in and be like, "You should come see Sydney. She shows at Sydney. We're doing Kasha Falls."
Son of a gun!
I don't remember her name, but like
I think it was like Susan.
Dog. Literally,
she did say, "Don't tell anyone about me. Don't talk about me."
Well, the group was this woman goes, "Guess how old I am now?" And I was honest. I was like 50. She 70.
Oh,
she looked fantastic.
She looked great.
I was like 70
compared to the other 70-year-olds.
That energy, it's that positive energy that keeps you young.
Well, and then it was so funny because like the couple who was next to me was like, "Oh, excuse us," and she was like, "Oh, okay, gotta go." And then it's so funny because the whole time they kept like looking over, and eventually she goes, "I like your dress," and I was like, "Oh, thanks."
Oh,
thank
they
you.
were the ones that were right next to you.
Yeah, but
and
dude,
then they also complimented our mask.
Yes, but dude, and then like the best thing was like, let the sunshine in is pretty like thing, but eventually it gets quiet and it's like and she's like clapping.
She stands up and claps up, and
it's
she
like,
starts a movement, and like all the old honkies get up and start
she's like clapping. She's like yes, and it's like, oh, I mean,
and then when the actors are, because they were right on the vom when they walk, when they leave the stage at the end, she was right there, and she's like, yeah, like fist pumping.
I mean,
and
she was having the time of her life.
So she loved the show.
She had a blast, and then when it was over, like, which I hate to be this person, but like everybody stood up. Me and you were like, we ain't getting up.
I was like, I'm good. I'm going home.
We sat, we clapped and said, we getting up now. But she was like, she like turns and is like, yeah. And we're like, yeah, dude, she was, I don't remember her name, but what a time she was.
So funny. I forgot that they said honkies in the show.
Oh, we laughed.
Oh,
I laughed so hard.
Only
me
people.
and Kian were the only ones who laughed.
Yeah, I was the only one. Nobody knew.
Yep.
I was like, oh my god, it was so good.
Wow, and that was hair.
And that was hair.
Hair.
The other day, I had never seen this musical before because I fell asleep watching it on TV with Dillon. So these two were singing that, and I was like, what the heck are you doing? And they're like, oh, it's a song from Hair. And I was like, no.
I was like, let me pull it up. But I was like, there you go, girl. You'll go see it. Sure enough.
Are we gonna do Tiki-Taki of the Week?
Wait, do I want to do a rating?
What?
Or
do we want to do a rating?
Oh.
Like, do we want to do a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10?
Honey, I'm gonna be honest with you.
What's the deciding factor? 1 to 5, 1 to 10?
Okay, so
let's do 1 to 10.
Let's do 1 to 10. I'm gonna be honest with you. She was a cold. I'm so sorry to say it. 3.
I knew it. I knew it was gonna be a 3.
She was a 3 for me.
Okay, is that you?
I'm also on the same as Kian, but mine was a 4.
A 4. Okay.
A 4 out of 10. Because I love the lighting and I love the choreography.
Lighting was great. Loved seeing some buddies, but 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so overall, I'm thinking venue. I'm thinking my safety. I'm thinking
the Baileys.
Oh, we had no safety.
Same.
I'm thinking about the Baileys.
The Baileys and the coffee, darling.
I'm thinking about the actors who I care deeply about, who are, they're risking a lot to do it for us. I don't like the play.
I don't like the play.
I don't like it. I'm gonna give it a 6.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
Fair.
That's just like my overall, because things balance each other out.
Sure.
See, 6 is my nice score, but 4 is my honest score.
I was gonna say, if I was being nice, I'd give it a 5, but my real score's a 3.
See, I really don't. I don't have like a horse in the race. I guess I'm just like I just appreciate the actors. Like, would I recommend it to people if they wanted to have a good time?
I'd recommend it if they see it free.
Yeah, I mean, I'm recommending it for people who are theater people to go see it.
Yeah, once again,
for cheap.
Great to see live theater again. Great to see friends do their thing. Like, I know people listen to it, but like, had never seen Lucario Jacobs like dance before, and I was like, what an electric performer
I
you
know.
are!
He is. Oh my god,
lightning in a bottle.
Amazing.
Lightning in a bottle.
He is so I was saying things about the dancing earlier. He's the exception.
Yeah.
He's the exception. He hit every single mark. He's so perfect.
Well, he was the one I was watching when they were dancing.
Honey,
okay.
You want to see some good dancing? Come watch the Kaja Falls for that choreo. He's not doing it, but that choreo is so good.
Love that.
So, TikTok?
You say?
Yes.
Do you have a TikTok of the week?
I do. So I was sent this one by my sister. Shout out to sister.
We love a name.
But she sent me this one because it's just relatable to me and being Mexican, being a spicy Latina. I'll show you guys, but
okay, yeah, don't put it too close to the mic. Bring it.
I had a quinceañera.
Oh my god. Oh.
Because the number of times I've been to not even just a quinceañera, a wedding, any sort of event, my mom's like, take the centerpiece.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, are we allowed to? And she's like, I'll ask. And she's like, take it
anyway.
She's like, take it before anyone else at the table takes it. And we have vases that are the size this big. Like huge vases. And it's like, what are we gonna use this for? She's like, I'll find a way.
Dude,
Don't worry about it. It's mine.
I saw it. I want it.
I
stole it.
We have a centerpiece from a communion. No, it was a baptism from Mexico. She brought this from Mexico.
Oh my god.
And she still has it. It was like a little flower pot with like chocolate coins. And all the chocolate coins were old and they fell off, but she still has it. Dude, and it's just trash.
I love that because you gotta take it when you can. I'm that way where I'm like, take it. No one will notice. I took so much from the gala every year. I'm like, I'm taking this.
Kian!
Okay, I do have one, but you go first.
Okay, this one's mine. I already showed Kiki the video, so I'm going to just point it towards you. Ready?
There's only room in this town for one big mustached man. You hear me? Oh, yeah? Well, what you gonna do about it, handsome? I'm gonna... Did you just call me handsome? Are you chicken in that? No, I ain't no cock. Chicken. Just a little sidetrack here. I'm thinking maybe we could arm wrestle, you know? Preferably while walking because that makes it more hard and competitive, you know? Some people call that hand holding, but I would say no. I would say it's very manly and aggressive and competitive. And then follow that up for added vigor and would be eating spaghetti to see who can finish it the quickest at this little Italian place on the corner. What say you? I say bring it on, sugar lips. Okay, you better watch your back talking like that because I'm going to get you. I'm counting on it. There's only room.
It's the dab, dude.
The dab with the mustache sends me every time.
So this is Hannah Johnson 927 on TikTok, and please go watch it for the visuals.
The visuals are.
It gave me like the same vibe of the Daddy Chill video.
Oh my god!
And he's
yes.
like, what?
He's like, what the hell is that?
Oh my god.
Okay, mine is probably not very funny, but I just absolutely am obsessed with these old gay men because I think that they're
I love the old gays.
I just think they're so adorable.
They are.
But okay, hold on. Hold on.
Have you ever slid into someone's DMs? Slid into someone's what? DMs. BM now?
Oh no.
DM, direct message. Slid into it. Yeah.
Oh, he's handsome.
That's an expression.
I'm done.
Well, do you know what it is, though? No. So it's just like sending someone a message on social media. You hit up their direct messages. Yeah, slide into their DMs.
I've done that, yeah. I'm not understanding this. I don't know just because we got up so early.
Oh my god.
Making sense to me.
Oh my god.
I just love him being like it's always the guy that's like the muscle one who's like, oh yeah, I've done that a couple times.
Oh yeah.
He's like, is that a BM, a bowel movement?
Bowel movement?
I also love the one where they're like, Rihanna follows you, they're like, Rihanna?
She's a classy lady.
Love her.
Someone can slide into my bowel movements,
Oh.
if you know what I mean.
God.
We do not discriminate.
We don't.
That's true. We also don't decimate.
The best thing was that it happened, and then Dillon just went and whispered, defecate.
See, look, I'm not really into that chocolate pudding action, but you can give me some of that warm glass of lemonade.
Jesus
my God.
I'll do that.
God, disgusting.
Okay, everybody, that's it for us this week. I hope you had a good time. This is our first review of a show, so please let us know what you'd like us to review next if the theaters stay open.
And I will be.
Well, you know what
so
we can
many-
review? Because it's going to come on Netflix soon. Diana the Musical.
Oh my God, we really
I
can.
really wish that wouldn't happen.
I really wish that show just feels dead on arrival, in my opinion. So.
Yikes. Okay, well, everybody have a wonderful rest of your week, and we will see you. We'll see you very soon.
In the near future. And thanks, Isai, for being here.
Yes,
Thank you for
being
having
here.
me. This will be the last time I've ever on here because
You're
Dillon
fine.
nodded, so that just means that just confirmed it.
Better
So bye forever. Au
stop.
revoir.
You're fired.
Get out of here.
I was hired in the first place.
We got no coin, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, so whenever